Hello and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Candlestick, and I will be playing one Dr. Crystal Everlight in the game um, Your Faults and Mine. And today I am joined by the lovely and talented and um, totally not angsting, but we love it so much. Would you like to
I'm
introduce
doing
yourself?
good. Hi. I had to defend myself there. Um, I was already being offended, but I had to jump in. Hi, I'm Spec, the second member of this totally cool and awesome squad. Um, I was listing like compliments to fire back, and I got so caught off by the angsting remark.
Hell yeah.
I'm innocent. I'm innocent. I am keeping all of my angst to a different character right now.
Yeah, Tome's doing surprisingly well. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. All it took was near-death experiences of magic therapy. Um,
As you do. Some characters are
as you do.
that stubborn. He's in
Yeah,
good company.
yeah, yeah. But
So,
yeah,
um, my brain just started went completely blank. so,
same.
um, Tome, uh, what's he up to at the moment?
It's a lovely day in Toontown, and he is a horrible little detective. Um, he's not actually doing a case though, funnily enough.
Hmm.
He most of his cases he gets from Billstown now. And while he's had magical therapy, he still is not brave enough to go back and get cases from Doe. So
Baby
that's
steps.
uh, baby steps here. um, which means this is more of a kind of like chill around, get groceries. He gets groceries now. He doesn't just buy off-brand pastries and co- coffee. He actually gets groceries and makes food.
Oh, good for him.
So he's probably on his way to the grocery store. Got to get some food. I'm thinking in my head what he'd cook, and all I'm getting is soup,
Oh my god. Is he at the soup
which is
store?
I don't think he's not at the soup store right now.
It's
I
okay, because you buy clothes at the soup store.
he gets he
I'm
gets his
being
jewelry
like,
from the soup store. I know what you're referencing.
no, I know, but I'm also this has actually been canonized in a game that I was in that you can get clothes at soup. It's a chain store.
That's genuinely hilarious. Holy shit.
That's where I learned that Cassie has no fashion sense.
Oh no.
She's great. She's fine with it.
But yeah,
Anyway, so
so
grocery store.
grocery store. He's on his way, but due to the plot, he can be wherever
I think it would
in
be
Toontown.
funny if he was in the grocery store. That would
They
actually
run
be
into
funny.
each other in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm.
Okay. All right. All right. In that case, do we want to roll perception?
I am absolutely down with that for that. Let me come and roll because I have to do mine through the over the thing.
Mm.
Perception, perception. Rolling perception.
Oh
That's
God.
a
Wow.
one.
Okay.
I always get way too excited when I get to roll perception or insight as Tome.
That's a +12. Oh my God.
Not
Yeah. All right. Tone, will you spot her before she spots you?
That works out great though, let's be real.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's no wonder that Crystal spots him because I mean, Tome's not that inconspicuous given his height and everything.
Yeah, probably like sticks up above like the shelves and everything.
Yeah, I think she does a bit of a double take. Like, what?
Yeah. It'd be so funny if he just happened like because inconsistency with environments for the sake of a gag.
Mm.
It'd be really funny if it just happened to be he like passed by like this one small dip in
Oh God.
the the shelves between two aisles, so he was able to see over the aisle completely and see Crystal there.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah, so he probably just has like a little basket. Um, he's not using a shopping cart because the idea of Tone with a shopping cart is doing psychic damage to me for reasons I don't even know.
Fair enough. I was thinking that Crystal probably has a basket too. I do not see her having the patience for using a trolley.
Yeah, like Tone's not even patient. He just looks like he looks like a mean mom almost in my
That's
I
so
can't
good.
take him seriously. But yeah, no. So Tone probably, upon seeing Crystal, makes his way around the aisle. He probably goes to where he's approaching Crystal from the front because he doesn't want to jump scare her.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hold on, I need to roll something. See if she's gonna. Are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, my lovely girl? Are you gonna keep going on your path, or are you gonna try and do something different? All right. All right. Well, Crystal is making the not smart decision, so I'm gonna roll stealth. Hmm,
Crystal, he already saw you.
I know.
Crystal, he has the 27 passive perception.
I know. This is why I rolled first.
Crystal, my beloved.
I mean, that's a 19. It's not the worst. She's just like, I'm going to like, she like pivots on her foot and goes in the opposite direction, but she's not like out of sight. He can still easily see where she is.
I'm gonna roll an insight, if that's okay.
Go for it. 24. Um, all right. Yeah. It's very easy. For Tome to read that. She is. Uh, how to put this? Like. Uh, this isn't something like she's trying necessarily to be rude. Um, and it's not like a hugely big thing. It's just a you definitely get the impression of if she can avoid it, she would like to avoid interacting. Not sure if you like. I'm not sure if you would get why though.
He's not picking up. He doesn't get why. He starts to think it's like because of him, but he's like brushed that off as no, that's just me being self-deprecating. Um, she probably just is not the biggest social person.
I mean, he knows she's not the biggest social person, right?
Yeah, but he still does want to check on her.
Yeah.
Um, and it's even though it's been a good bit, he you can overblot and still be a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. I will say, I am going to ask if I can pull um a not actually physically possible thing, but it'd be really funny if she rounds the corner and he's already at the next aisle.
Yes, that would be really funny.
Like like he goes out of sight and he just like there's no way he could have gotten over there that fast.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
literally has to have been a scene change for him.
Yeah, yeah, he's like, all right, scene change in the middle of the shopping center.
I'm so sorry. So she just like rounds the corner, goes down the next aisle, and he's just literally like right there in front of her, like a foot away.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a wisdom, see if she jumps. All right, no, that was a 16.
Is everything all right, Crystal?
Yeah, so she doesn't jump. She probably does start a little bit, like she wasn't expecting him to be there, and just oh, Detective Tome, it's good to see you. What are you doing in Toontown?
He kind of blinks twice. I could have asked you the same thing. I live here.
I live here too. Wait, really?
Huh? Yeah, no, I've lived here my whole life.
Huh. I could have sworn you lived in Billstown with the others.
No, I will admit I travel there often to be there either for cases or just support, but no, I do live here in Toontown. It's partially why I tend to be either arriving notably early or quite late to things, since I do have to account for travel.
Ah, yes. It's honestly surprising that we've not run into each other before, given that, then. S-
Well, it is a big city.
Yes, it is, isn't it? So awkward. I love them.
I miss this. This is I faintly remember the first FPS they had, and I miss this. Funnily enough, this is so funny.
Everyone else, I remember that Leo had to come and join them because
Because
they
they
were
just
so
wouldn't
bad at
talk.
talking.
They just wouldn't talk. At
Uh,
least this time, Tome is good enough to talk.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, it, I'm glad I ran into you here. I've been wanting to check on you.
And then there is like a raised eyebrow at that, and oh, no, I've been fine. Um, and yourself?
Um, Perfectly fine, great even. Uh, Thank you again for all you did.
Hmm. Um, I am gonna go off of that was it was a 24 insight, yeah. uh there is like a very slight like you can sort of tell from like what her face does like very briefly that that she maybe has some more thoughts about that than she's saying, but she just does like reiterate, no, of course, I was just doing my job, and I'm glad that you're okay in the aftermath of it.
Tome is going to mentally take this information and put it to the side for grabbing possibly in a bit. Still, it meant a lot, and if there's any way I can ever thank you, just let me know. Just any way I can make it up to you.
Hmm.
It may have been your job, but you still did it without hesitation. And I think doing something in return is the least I can do.
How tactful are you going to be? All right, she's
Tome's
still
fighting right now, it's a word.
she's still being polite. She's holding back what she actually was planning on saying, and instead just no, I don't do this sort of thing for favors. it's not fair to people to have to put up with something like that. Um, so if I can do anything to help, I will.
I can understand that. And he kind of gives a little nod there.
Hmm. Yeah, she'll give a bit of a nod back. This is going
This does,
better than she was expecting.
yeah, I'm about to kill her. This does explain why Professor talks so highly of you so often, though.
Cool. All right. All right, I'm gonna roll. Yep,
Like I said, this
that's
is
great.
going better. I'm gonna kill her now.
That was a wisdom. And then
Rip.
that was deception. Hold on. Oh, way to go. Yeah.
Tome literally cannot not beat that.
Yeah, yeah. She's just like there's like um like a. She's not that sort of tune, but if she was, it would have been like the record scratch kind of like what? Just like sort of like stumbles a little bit to a stop and just I beg your pardon. she she didn't know.
Tome, you go.
She didn't know that the professor held her in that high esteem.
Tome kind of snorts softly. Yes, no. You have come up, not very often in our conversations, I'll admit, but every time it has. He, let's just say he gets that face he gets whenever he's talking about someone he really cares about or thinks highly of. You know, that one where he gets all like sappy and he like scrunches his own face a little, like not able to recreate it.
the the look that Crystal is giving you is the know what and like rapidly like combing back through her memories of am I aware of this look? I think I'm aware of this look kind of thing. What do you mean it's been directed at me?
The best part is that she could not have noticed that and it still would work because of his stupid insight. Professor may not even do that, and Tome just thinks he does because he's constantly seeing through Professor's shit. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Professor. Bullied all the time.
Like they've had conversations before. She is aware that the professor has a hard time like trusting and letting people in like her. So like this is lining up with her knowledge of him, but she's also like bad at reading people, so she's just also like, wait, what?
Crystal, who is bad at reading people, versus Tome, who's so good at reading people, he can't tell if they're actually genuinely expressing something or he's just gotten too good.
uh, that's so funny.
Um, yeah, no, most of it came up not long after that incident, but he has talked about you quite often, normally when getting on to me, but still, you he thinks a lot about you and how much you know, and he trusts you a lot for that, which is the professor.
Oh, well, I mean, I he's the professor is a very good friend, and I do care about him in return. I wasn't. I suppose I hadn't really considered that you know how he can be incredibly stubborn and
I get you.
I
He kind of looks at her a bit knowingly and just nods. I don't worry, I understand.
yeah. Thank you for letting
He's
her
gonna
save face.
He'll save you there. He knows not only in the sense of professor, but considering she overblotted, he's got some internal theories going on.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Well, Professor, he would know that the professor was one of the people that was there for her overblot. Um,
Yee.
yeah, and that was definitely something that shifted her um like internal view of the professor like fairly significantly actually.
Real.
Like they were she did regard him with respect before that. She'd gotten to that point, but so like after that there was like a lot more of a no, this is someone that I like deeply trust and appreciate
Hmm.
afterwards, which is really
Yeah.
cute.
He's seen like some of your trauma. You could trust this one.
Yeah, yeah. Like yeah, she's not had a lot of people older people that she sort of like looks up to that way. So she's still figuring it out. I love her, but
I
she's
love
so
her.
emotionally dense.
I love her so much. Don't worry. Tome is so emotionally driven. They should be able to counterbalance each other.
Nice. Oh, good. I've completely forgotten where they were in the conversation, and I think it would be funny if
Um,
Crystal had too.
that don't worry. Tome would be able to save her from that. Um, he would have been. Quick summary for you. Um, Tome jump scares her on accident. Asks her how she's doing, says thank you, finds out she doesn't, well, I say finds out, she reassures him that she doesn't do things for favors. He
Mm,
mentions, oh, okay, makes sense why Professor talks so well about you then.
yeah.
And then she dies.
Then she blue screened.
Well, I
Yep.
will definitely have to tell Professor to get a little bit better at expressing his appreciation for others.
No, no, don't. It's fine. You don't have to do that. She's like, oh god, I love you, Crystal. You're grappling between don't do something on my behalf and no, please don't tell him.
He kind of like smirks a little, like a little knife cat almost. Oh, don't worry. I would gladly appreciate the chance to tease him.
That will get like a small laugh from her, like, oh yeah, she likes teasing the professor. She had a lot of fun reading back through the chat and how um with the poker thing,
Yeah.
it's so funny.
Yeah, Tom's still judging Professor over that. Um, for those um not in not for our listening audience who does not know about the chat, brief context, we found out the professor cheats at cards.
Yeah, and he
He
got
has been bullied relentlessly.
yeah, got so roasted in the aftermath because he
It
lost
was
while cheating.
he lost all. That's still so funny to me.
Oh god, it was great. Yeah, but yeah, small, like just a little bit of like a heh kind of like smirk, and then it like sort of smooths over, and well, um, it is always good to keep his ego in check.
Exactly, you get me.
Yes, it's just a nod. Um, what about you? How have you been since everything? That was a lot you went through.
His face does grow a bit more serious. Like I said, it's I've been doing pretty great compared to everything. Visit the boys often. have cases, and have managed to keep myself out of any major plot.
Hmm. Rarity with the group, but that's good to hear.
Yes, it's almost been like a vacation of sorts,
uh,
except for I'm still working.
yep, know that feeling.
It's it's definitely been nice to not have to worry about the others. I
Yes.
think we've all needed this break.
Yes, I think we have. It's been nice.
Too bad for them that now I have spoons again, and I will make it other problems. Um,
They need something to spice up their life, otherwise they're not going to get their enrichment.
yeah, they need their enrichment. Their enrichment. Tom kind of rubs the back of his neck. Um, I'm trying to think of something to say. I'll admit I'm still not the best at conversation.
uh, that's fine. You know, it'd be funny if he said that out loud.
No, he does.
Oh, he does.
He
Okay,
does.
I thought that was Julie
That's
for
why
a
I
moment.
drop my voice as he says that out loud.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. That's so funny. Um, it's just there's another sort of like pause and the um no. Well, I'm not the best at it myself. You don't have to be. You're not obligated to talk to me, you know.
Oh, well, I'm not obligated to, but I want to. Problem is I'll admit well, we haven't. I. He kind of runs a hand down his face. I have not gotten to know you quite well, so I don't know what kind of subjects are of your interest outside of your career in our mutual care for a group of people. So it's less of I feel I have to and more of I simply. He's trying to think of a word that does not sound self-deprecating. He's trying to do better. He's really
Oh,
trying,
I love
gang.
him.
Because he doesn't want to say bother. He's really trying here, gang.
Oh, do you
Yeah.
want me to roll an insight or something?
Yes, save him. He's doing so good, but he is still Tome,
All right, all right.
and his disgustingly high charisma is more in the sense of this is a pathetic wet ferret of a man.
Okay,
You
okay.
want to care for this thing, don't you?
All right. Well, that was pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's very much struggling to get words, and you can tell he's getting a little nervous and awkward.
Oh. Um.
Um,
Yeah, keep
it's
going.
obvious he doesn't normally have to carry the conversation this much,
Mm. Mm.
which I think is something they both just do normally. They're
Yeah.
both normally the responser responders in a conversation.
Yeah, yeah. There's a reason why they get along with the other people so well. Um, did you want to roll an insight on Crystal in return? Because yeah.
I would love to. Nope,
Ooh.
he is way too. He's too lost in the what do I say sauce.
I mean, the 16's not bad. He will catch he won't catch everything. Crystal's not but Crystal's not anywhere near as good at hiding like what she's feeling as other people are that they know are.
Cough,
um
cough. Half of the group.
yeah.
Cough, cough.
Yeah. So he will catch there is a slightly like slightly guilty look, like, yeah, that might have been intentional.
Rip.
um, but what I think what Crystal will say is because she did get that pretty good insight, and like she's like, oh, okay, well, he's trying, kind of, fine, kind of thing. And the um well, I am relatively free now. We If you wanted, we could uh get to know each other a little better over mm, a drink. She looks so hesitant. She's like, what do people normally do?
Tome gives a little chuckle at that little pause question mark and um yes, I whether you mean coffee or alcoholic, I know a couple of bars, but also some nice shops not too far from here, unless you had one in mind.
uh
I'm not used to someone else living here in Toontown, I'll admit.
no, not really. I don't really stop in places. And cafe, please. I'm not much of a drinker.
Fine. Um, I don't really do it myself outside of a select group of people.
Fair
Out of
enough.
character, cough, cough, the professor in Moria, cough, cough.
Yeah, yeah. Fun little
the
fact.
old, the old hat got it.
That's so fun. I love the idea of just them, like the three of them sitting in like an old style, like pub bar thing, just with the drinks and just conversing together. That's so cute.
Let the old hats get to have fun. We don't
Yes.
show it on screen as much, but these three love to hang out.
Yes.
Um,
Good for them.
well, I do know a good cafe not too far from here, so that would honestly work better. I will admit I'm normally better with my words when I have some coffee in me.
There's just a raised eyebrow and the yes. Speaking of, you should probably cut back on the coffee. It was high enough to have an effect on your blood pressure and heart rate. Let's say that.
He kind of blinks twice and then a third time, and then you slowly see like a little loading symbol form over his head.
I just think she's just gonna cut it through the blood pressure cuff told me for you to cut back on coffee.
Well, the blood pressure cuff's not a doctor, so I can have my coffee.
There is a very unimpressed look that Tome is getting, but she can't fight it because she is technically not that sort of doctor.
Listen, I am I drink a very normal amount of coffee for my genre.
There's the um, normal doesn't necessarily mean okay. You and I both know enough people in this genre to know that.
His cheeks do flush a little red with embarrassment. I'll consider it if you agree to not tell Professor or any of the boys.
Deal.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh boys, they have been trying to get me to cut back for this long. If they find out I have finally started to relent, I will never hear the end of it.
Yeah, yeah. Crystal will do that. She won't she's not the sort to gloat usually. So um she will do that, especially if it means that he will actually consider it, like, yeah, no. Good for your health
Yeah,
kind of
he
thing.
will actually consider it. However, he's not going to start right now. Right now, they're going to go get some coffee.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine there's a little bit of like a scene shift where they manage to get through the rest of their groceries and then head off for the cafe.
Tone probably just like is just like 1 second, and then just scene shifts out of existence, and then back, and he just drops his groceries off at his house and in the fridge.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Crystal can't really do that. She's not as like gag prone. But she's just gonna put her groceries in her hammer space and
That
just
works.
continue. Yeah, the hammer space will keep them chilled.
It does. Tome. If Tome has to go through all these gags, he might as well benefit from it.
Tome is extra like that.
He is. He's so extra. He acts like he isn't, but he's so extravagant. He's so
Yes,
showy.
I love him.
I'm glad. I love Crystal. I just
These two emotionally stunted toons.
yeah.
They're
Tome's
getting there.
trying.
They're trying.
They're getting their annual enrichment in. They're stretching their ability to to socialize.
Yes, yes. Like, Leo's gonna be so proud when he learns that Crystal actually actively invited someone out to get coffee.
Exactly.
I mean, she doesn't have to tell him it was his dad.
Nope, she did a social activity. That's all Leo needs to know. And Tome did a social activity. That's all Leo needs to know.
Yeah,
That's all that anybody needs to know. They just
between
happened to be social since the last time you saw them. Totally wasn't at the
uh,
same time.
between the two of them, they make a totally functional human being.
Yeah, basically.
Oh God,
Um,
I love them.
handshake. They're so silly. But yeah, Tone probably leads her to a smaller, less crowded coffee because of how much he drinks coffee and the fact that he is allowing himself to treat himself more and go out. He's been okay. Funnily enough, he has been trying to wean himself off just like straight black coffee.
Mm,
Because that does lower how much coffee he's having
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
because he's now getting like other stuff like milk and creamer and stuff like that in.
Ooh, branching out.
So he's he's probably because he doesn't know how to make those himself, he's probably been going to cafes more. So he probably
Ah,
knows like which ones are like busy or not around this time of day,
nice.
and probably very purposely takes Crystal to a not busy one.
Yeah, yeah. I did roll a deception, which was not great. So he will catch that she looks actually fairly relieved that it's not busy.
Yeah, he probably will take her because I've gone to a coffee shop like this and I feel like they would like that, where there's actually a second floor you can
Ooh,
go onto with a
that's
couple
cool.
of small tables and books up there.
Oh, yes. That would immediately get her attention like, ha, there's that obvious look of I'm filing this place away in my memory.
Tome figured this would be a little bit more comfy. It has now I'll admit the one that I went to was a cat cafe, so it was very like bright pink and sterile, but this one probably is like this woodsy, like dark wood color.
Ooh, that's cool.
Because there's a different cafe I've gone to.
You're just mashing cafes together.
I'm just mashing the cafes together to get the aesthetic, man.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's probably like this deep wood, and the second floor probably has this large window that you
Mm,
can look out. They probably managed to snag a little circle table by that.
nice.
Um, there's probably also some board games up there.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, tunes, it would be a good idea.
partially because I've just gone to so many cafes that not only have books, but they have board and card games.
Oh, that's such a cool idea.
It is. It's really fun. Um, if you ever able to find one, I actually recommend going. It's very nice to just sit down with some people while you all have some coffee and then you play like werewolf or something.
Ah, that sounds so much fun. I feel like my housemates would love something like that. I might have to look for something.
Yee! I have done good. I have spread the knowledge. Um, I don't know how global they are, but I know in America there's at least a good bit.
Okay, all right. I'll just, yeah, I'll have to look into it.
But yeah, so Tom probably gets himself a latte.
Fair
Um,
enough. I think
I'm
Crystal is going to get herself a green tea. And
real of her.
uh, yeah, I think just the green tea. Yeah.
Tom also orders for them both a cinema roll.
All right,
It's
good.
been so long, but it's back.
Hell yeah. Good, because like there was that the consideration of the should I get a snack to go along with it? No, it's fine. So
Then
it's
Tom
great.
just like places a nice hot cinema roll in front of her. They're probably like flavored too.
Mm.
He probably got her like a normal one because he doesn't know what flavor she'd want, but he probably got like a pumpkin.
Hmm. Just a.
Or wait, it's summer.
I mean, you can still get a
What
pumpkin
things
one.
grow in the summer?
Oh God. Putting me on the spot here. Um.
I don't know. He gets some sort of croissant that's summery. Raspberries. Thank you, chat. He gets a raspberry croissant. Cinema roll.
Yeah, that sounds nice
Oh
actually.
gosh. Now I'm thinking of croissants as well. Um,
They get a complimentary croissant.
they get a. Honestly, he probably is a regular enough. They give him one. It's like a new flavor they're trying out.
That's so good.
He just like agrees to like basically like say how it was afterwards and whatnot.
Would you fill in this survey for us?
In exchange for a free pastry, would you be willing to take this 5 minute survey?
Yeah. Oh
Um,
God.
but yeah, he probably sits down with his cup of coffee. It's probably one of those where you could choose to have it like to go or in an actual cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Tome probably got his an actual like mug.
Yeah, I think Crystal would have too. It's nice to be able to use appropriate dishware when you're not actually on the go.
Especially because Handel's good. Handel's
Yes.
nice.
Yes, exactly. Um, I do think she would say, like after having a look around, this place is lovely. How did you find it?
Um, just walking around one day. I've been trying to drink not just black coffee, so I've been going to more cafes, but different ones are busy at different times. And, well, I don't want to show up at the same cafe multiple times a day, multiple days a week. So I've got a good few I go between. It also gets me out and walking more, not hold up in the apartment as much.
Yes, I can see how that would uh be useful. There is very much this like judgmental. So you mean you don't want them to know how much coffee you drink and get on your case too?
Don't look at me. He realized as he was saying it.
Yeah, yeah, there is like very much that energy coming off of her, but she's being nice enough at this point to not say anything because she's already made that point. No need to drive it home.
He will sigh though and acknowledge it. Not everyone knows my genre, so I don't want to lead to unnecessary concern.
Uh-huh, I'm sure that's it.
Mhm. It is. He kind of sits down and crosses his legs at the ankles and just sips at his coffee, very non-conspicuous. You can't see his
Uh,
face, only coffee there.
that's hilarious. I think Crystal will take the opportunity to take a bit of her own sip. And then I did roll to see if she would say this or not, and she got a good roll. So there is gonna be a beat before I should probably apologize. I Given that you had been interested in getting to know me, I must admit that I'd not been making it easy for you.
Tom kind of looks at her for a moment with um, a semi-serious, semi-soft face before he just sighs and places the coffee down. It's all right. I would be a hypocrite to judge you for that. It is partially, I admit, why I was a little extra insistent upon seeing you, but and not letting you round that corner.
It's just a ah, yes, I had sworn you were going the other direction.
I
You
was.
you scared the daylights out of me, honestly.
That was an accident. I had originally intended to come from in front of you so I wouldn't scare you, but I, well, I, I sometimes forget people don't scene shift as liberally as I do.
No, well, it was probably deserved. I will admit that I not particularly been wanting to talk to you. I was worried about. And she struggles for a moment, like, how do I articulate this in a way that's like gonna come off as like not callous and also not stupid? I
Y-
didn't
You go.
want to say the wrong thing, and given uh the that we both have mm, people that we care about. Yeah.
If if you're worried that I would have gotten upset with you and that would have affected things, I can reassure you that's not a problem. You
uh,
know how I met Jubilee.
I do not.
Um, I met him because I hated him with passion, so Camille forced us to meet each other properly. Tom takes a sip of his coffee, and now he's my son, so I assure you, nothing you can do will cause problems that cannot be taken care of, if they even cause problems at all.
Mm. There's like that, like a little bit of the, oh wow, that must have been some conversation to, none of this is that surprising, but also at the same time, damn. And
Tom just chuckles again.
I think what she eventually settles on is, um, well, no need to test, uh, no need to test us like that. I hope you're right. I will admit that I was fairly angry at you in the aftermath of uh, your collapse.
That was well deserved. You were not the only one. He kind of makes a little bit of a face, the kind of I bit into a lemon face. I'll You may be blunt if you wish to. You probably cannot speak harsher words than I heard from the others post all that.
All right. Yeah, I think there's a, well, in that case, let me just say that what you did was extremely stupid. You are incredibly lucky to be alive. And
Mhm.
um, honestly, you need to take better care of yourself. You need to do better for those around you.
Yes. So, like I said, things that others have already said to me. Do not worry, I am doing that now to the best of my abilities.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I I'm relieved, honestly, that I don't need to be the one to tell you that.
Yeah, no. The others didn't quite need to tell me either. Not long after it, I kind of just came to accept and realize. Tome, like, trying, Tome voice, I'm not going to say change of heart. Because I don't remember how much he understood what was going on, even.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. And Crystal doesn't really know about that stuff anyway. Just sort of the her opinion is, well, it's not unheard of people to go through like something like that and for it to completely shift their worldview, kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's what Tome's trying to frame it as.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think she's gonna nod and though I am still a little miffed about the whole BCS thing.
Which part? There's like a little sweat drop.
The fact that you never said anything to me about it, even though it's literally my job.
I, I didn't. He kind of takes a slow, deep breath to kind of like calm himself again. I wasn't too keen on people finding out. I've never been one to go to doctors willingly. Don't worry, I'm much more willing to now, post everything, but it did not seem like something that needed to be your problem. And at the time, I'll admit, I did not think there was much use in more people knowing about it.
Well, I can't fault you for that exactly, but you do understand how frustrated you would be if someone you knew wasn't going to you about a case that you could solve because you're a detective, right?
No, I definitely get that. And, well, if you have any questions about it on my end, I will gladly answer them now. I won't hide I don't plan on hiding that information anymore. I don't plan on hiding most of my problems anymore.
She's just gonna nod and I won't pry too much unless you really want me to. I just have a few questions. Um, Mostly just to hopefully help things, keep an eye on things from my own end. Do you know what your role is?
I'll admit, I'm not quite sure right now. That has been something that's been bothering me for past bit is I kept switching between three roles, but I find myself acting a little differently, and I can't tell if one of my roles has changed or I've developed a fourth one.
Hmm. I
My calmer personality and, well, general more thoughtfulness is, I believe it's just the growth of my father role, or even the wise old detective. But I don't think it's the latter simply because it would contradict with my other detective role too much.
hmm. There's a slight moment where she's debating on whether to say this or not. Before yeah, I think she'll go for it. Of the, have you considered the um have you considered the potential that it is losing its grip on you?
Tome kind of pauses at that and looks at his coffee for a minute. It's crossed my mind a few times, but I try not to linger on it. I'll admit, without more definitive proof, I don't want to get my hopes up. It's. I just now recently found out it wasn't a permanent condition, per se, in the sense of its finality. I don't even know if it's possible for somebody to have its grip loosened.
Hmm. It's not easy. I only know of a very rare number of cases, but it is possible.
It would be nice idea. I wish there was a way I could answer you for sure on if that's what's happening.
Hmm. That's no, that's enough. That, to be honest, I think part of the reason it didn't click in place for me originally is because you not a typical case of BCS that I've seen. You seem far more interconnected and nuanced than I would have expected. I think I can't give you any answers on whereabouts you are, whether it is loosening its grip or not, but I think the situation you are in now is definitely has the potential for that to be an outcome.
His face does soften slightly. Well, then I guess I can allow myself a little hope there.
Yes, a little hope is not a bad thing.
Well, but yes, no, I need to roll something
Okay.
because I don't know if you can hear in my voice, but he's handing me a lot of strong emotions right now.
Oh, I hold him.
That's a 25, you disgusting old man.
If you want, you're welcome to roll at disadvantage.
I'll roll at disadvantage. Here you go. You
14.
should be able to beat it. You have a chance at there.
That's insight.
Yes.
Oh, yes! Hell yeah! Good go, Crystal.
Yes!
Hey, dirty 20.
Oh, yeah. Nope. You can tell that your reassurance he's very much doing his best to keep a very calm and collected face, but you can tell that your reassurance has meant a lot to him.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Makes sense why she can read this sort of thing. Like, this is probably not the first time that, like, she's seen that particular reaction.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's
yeah.
it's very much held back tears. Happy
Aw.
tears.
Yeah, yeah. She feels good about that, and she's just gonna add in the. And if you need any help or information on it, I am always willing to lend a hand.
That that is nice to hear. Genuinely.
Yes, I'm.
I will possibly take you up on that offer.
I'm glad. It's not. It is a particularly it's not a particularly fun thing to deal with. I think that it's incredible how far you've come, honestly.
Uh, Thanks. Genuinely. I will admit I have the others to thank for that as well.
Yes, I was going to ask how many of the others know?
Well, the boys know. They're the ones who told me. I did not realize I even had it before them. Moria knows. Professor knows. Jubilee and Minami know, I believe. Really, most of the intermediate family. Um, Yura knows
Mm.
very. Yeah, I I will admit, even before now, I did try and have others know because even if I did not think I could stop it, I did believe it could be slowed a bit by more people knowing me, which was partially what encouraged me to actually talk to people before I was more willing to.
Yes, I think that was a smart idea. You can sort of see on her face like she's glad that like other people know. That makes things easier, like there is relief there. There is also a little bit of miffed of it, like all of these people know and I didn't, and it is literally my job. Is still sitting on her face. She is also a little bit miffed because she's miffed at herself because she knows a couple of them were trying to hint at her that it was something was happening and she just completely missed it.
I'll admit I didn't want them to tell other people.
Uh...
It's
Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. Keep going.
oh no, I know. It's very much while I knew talking about it would help, I wasn't quite ready to beforehand. I wanted to have a say in who found out. Well, correction, there's also one other person who knows about it, but you will not be meeting him.
There's an eyebrow. It's just the raised eyebrow of the all right. I'm not gonna pry.
Tone voice, yippee!
Uh, be careful what you say, old man.
Yeah,
That's not in
yeah,
character. That's me.
yeah, no, I know.
uh, it's just a she will disregard that point for now and just be like, tuck it away and just be like, uh, well, it's a fairly common reaction, and I can't really fault you for wanting some level of control in a situation like that. I am glad that, well, I can't exactly say that you told me, but I am glad that it's in the open now.
Yeah, I'm I'm glad too. I honestly should have told you sooner. I'm actually surprised the professor did not tell you.
You want to roll an insight?
Yes.
Oh, good. I don't even think you need to worry about that. That was a 7 on her deception. Um,
Yeah, that's a 21 on his insight.
you get the distinct impression that he was going to tell her, and then something happened that meant that he didn't. And that thing might have something like that, might be something that Crystal feels kind of guilty about.
Oof. Tone voice. On one hand, I want to pry, but on the other hand, I know it's me being a detective, and I can't do that to Crystal.
I mean, he's welcome to because I shake my girl. She is trying to be better, but sometimes she still needs prompting to actually be like forthright with these sort of things.
There's a pause. before he kind of hums and taps at his cup. Do you want to talk about it?
Not particularly, but I should probably. No, the professor was fairly miffed that you didn't tell me on your own. But um, when hmm, when he found out that I was infected with overblot, decided that me knowing would not be useful at the time. So we agreed to drop it. I would not pursue what you were hiding, and he would not tell you about my overblot.
That explains why I didn't know about it. He kind of makes a little bit of a face. He's not hiding that one.
Yeah, she
I'm
does
going
look a
to have
little.
a long talk with him eventually.
She does look a little ashamed of the. I was trying to keep it under wraps because I didn't want to worry anyone.
Like I said, I have no room to judge. You heard why I don't didn't talk about my problems. No, the more of it's I'm not blaming you for that. It's more a mix of the professor telling someone without letting me know that he's going to tell someone. Though I should, like I said, I should have expected it considering how much he harped on me to tell you. But also, it's just such a professor thing to do,
Oh, yes. He's very good at sticking in his nose in where it doesn't belong, but ending up being extremely helpful in doing so.
Yes, exactly. As long as he stopped trying to solve every one of those problems he sticks his nose into, I would be a lot less annoyed with his ability to do that,
Yes, well, at least he's looking before leaping more often these days.
which is good.
Both of them shared. Oh, I love this person, but also, my God, they are an idiot affectionate.
Yeah, I did not expect the mutual bullying over professor to be this much of a bonding experience, but I'm here for it.
That's so good. Uh,
Speaking of your overblot, I don't know the details. I had my own thing happen not long after it, and I'll admit it's none of my business. That is your own trauma to share with as you wish. But you you do mean it when you say you're doing better, correct?
hmm.
I've seen with multiple kids how hard the recovery can be.
Yes, for the most part. Unfortunately, things like that don't ever completely resolve themselves. I'm doing far better than I was definitely in the lead up to it. Um, and I'd like to say that I am doing better than before the infection, but that doesn't mean it's always easy when I think
Ah,
about it.
well, you're not doing it alone, at least. You have all of us to help.
No, that thought was fairly well drilled into my head during the incident.
Good. It's a hard lesson to learn, so I can't blame you for that.
Yes, it's too easy to try and do everything yourself in order to keep it from the people you care about.
That it is. That it is. He takes in another sip of his coffee.
Yeah, she'll probably like follow the action like yep, that was a fairly heavy conversation. Um
They both did so good.
They did.
They both did so good.
They're being social, they're opening up, they're not deflecting.
I'm so proud of them. Genuinely.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think she will add because that I do remember that happened during their last FPS of the um that was partly why I was trying to avoid the kids. However, I didn't want them to become involved in that any more than they already had.
No, I can't blame you for that. Well, I am better now, I'll admit, before my own recent shift in views, I probably would have done the same in your position.
Yes, I have to say, I did get uh, the repercussions of that though. I was subjected to quite a bit of Leo's tears um, as a result of it.
Oh, don't. Oh. Just consider that a sort of rite of passage.
I would she make this joke or not? Okay, that would kind of be funny. Yeah, I think she's gonna make this joke like not seriously, and I think it's gonna be really. I think it's really funny. Is the so it's a rite of passage. When should I expect him to try and adopt me? As
See,
a
she
joke.
jokes. She jokes.
I know. I love
Tom just kind of like laughs. Hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if it's already happened and you just don't realize. Calmly sips coffee.
Oh, Tom, I'm not gonna make you roll for this, but there is you don't need insight to tell there's this yeah, funny funny joke. That's not happening. Kind of like expression on her face.
You don't have to roll inside to basically see Tomes doing the. Oh, sure.
She's steadfastly ignoring that. Uh,
Beware what you speak into existence, Crystal.
I know, I love her. She's so great. I love that she warned Professor's friends about potential adoption and is like completely oblivious to what's happening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which this is posted FPS. Tome would know that, which makes it even funnier.
Yeah. Oh god, that's so funny. I love her, but she's so dense sometimes. I think that there's like a clearing of the throat and then like moving on. How
Of
has
course.
everyone been?
Um, quite good. I mostly have just been visiting them every once in a while for a family movie night or the hangout, but nothing really has changed.
Mm.
It's been good.
Yeah, she'd been
Well,
about to ask if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
yeah, no, it's a good thing. Tome would have. It would be easy. You could tell just by the way Tome's talking that it's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, that's nice. I think everyone deserves a bit of a break at the moment.
For real. And well, it works out great. It's a great time for Professor's new friends to come and start hanging out.
Yes. Have you met them yet? I'm assuming so.
I was part of the initial greeting, but I have met with Jera
Ah, yes.
while around Villestown. She actually talked about you as well.
Did she?
Yes, about how much about the basics you were able to go over.
Yes, I would have liked to have gone over more, but it's a lot for one session, so perhaps mm, best to intersperse it a little bit. Um,
I'll
I
you go.
I liked them. They were pleasant. I can definitely see how they managed to keep up with the professor.
They yes, no, I agree. And for your reassurance, I managed to at least talk to Jera a lot about tune elements, mostly gags, plot, genre, stuff like that. I didn't really give much information on the biology end.
Yes, I
Um,
managed to cover a little bit myself of that.
yes, yeah, I was able to elaborate on it, but no, I agree that they are quite nice. Definitely are having trouble adjusting to the differences in viewpoints here, but I think
Yes,
they'll do quite well.
at least they're willing to try, which is more than can be said about a lot.
Exactly. I think they'll do good. I think they'll be happy here.
Yes, that said, I hmm, best to keep an eye on them. Um,
Oh, I will.
Terry seems somewhat prone to being the butt of jokes, and Jara, well, it's quite similar to a fair amount of people here, and that seems intent on investigating things she should not.
Oh, trust me, I know. Um, I have definitely been keeping an eye out on Jera, but you said Terry seems to be likely to fall to the butt of jokes. He does actually like lean in a bit on that.
um,
Like genuinely like concerned, leaned in.
yeah, yeah. There's a little bit of a wave of a hand of the. Well, I mean, he's real kind, so I don't know how much that can truly stick, but seems to have at least been cast in the straight men role somewhat
Oh,
loosely.
I need a roll of deception. I gotta roll a deception. That's a 15.
All right, I'm gonna roll an insight.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to
Ah,
Terry.
uh, I that's not high enough. That's an 8 plus a 2. That's a 10.
Okay, wonderful news for Terry then. Don't worry about it.
I want to know.
You said you said straight man roll, and Tome almost broke right there.
Look, she does not know
She
his.
doesn't, and Tome doesn't want to say anything because it's just a theory on his end.
Ugh, yeah. Look, it's funny. I it does bring me back the I love I love saying that Crystal has been cast into the straight man role despite not being straight or a man.
Yeah, no, it's very much that's what the deception was Tome biting his cheek really harshly.
Love
Well,
him.
that's not the most fun role to play.
No,
I'll
it's not.
definitely do my best to help him.
Oh god. I love this. This is just a nod as Crystal's like, yeah, no, I like internally is like, yeah, no, I know how that feels. I know what to watch out for.
Tome internally, I know how that feels. I know how
Oh god.
Crystal just met him post him getting out of that role.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I love them
Oh,
both so much.
Both of them. Wow, I know so much about that feeling. I'm glad the other person doesn't.
I'm almost tempted to roll and see if she says anything out loud.
There's
Excellent, excellent. All right. Yeah, there's a nod and the a bit of a wince of sympathy and the yeah, it's take it from someone with experience. It's not a very fun role to be cast.
Oh, trust me, I'm very aware it's probably one of my earliest roles, I'll admit.
Oh, really? Oh, my condolences.
Same goes to you. It's like you said, it's never fun.
No, no. Uh, I still won't go out on April 1st as a result.
I've I've just sort of embraced it at this point, I'll admit.
Hmm, must be nice. Crystal says,
Eh,
as someone who has never given up on anything in her life.
uh, eh, it's it's got plenty of downsides, but yeah, it does make scene shifts easier when you're this much of a gag.
Yeah, I can see that. Um, yeah, she's just gonna like sort of drift off, uh, just thinking, take another sip of her tea.
Sip, 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 sip,
Sippy.
sippy. Mm.
Yeah, yeah, okay. After a moment, she's just gonna be like, thank you for reaching out. This has been nice.
It really has. Um, you Before I forget, you said you had a couple of questions about BCS. I'll admit we got a little off topic again, but the mentioning of roles reminded me of it.
Ah, right. Well, mostly it was the roles and the how many people knew. I know that there's probably not much point in me asking how long you've had it, or things like that.
I I based in hindsight, I can give a guess of an answer for that one. I believe I've had it almost my entire life, to be honest.
There's a wince and uh,
Hey, hey, Crystal, you want to roll a history or medicine real quick?
sure, I can do that. Will you let me do medicine?
I'll let you do medicine.
Okay. Well, it's not
I did not plan on this getting brought up, but I should have.
it's not the worst roll.
That's a good roll. Um, I won't it because of just how uncommon BCS is, it doesn't get as much information as that normally would, but
Hmm.
it's very uncommon for tunes to um get it very early on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's normally something that happens because a tune is acting in a certain way consistently, um, or because they have naturally fallen into a role and some exterior things. But for them to have had it almost their entire life, or at least long enough that they can consider it their entire life, is not common.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think she's gonna frown at that then, and the
Sprinkles on him more of Tome's a little freak.
yeah, a little bit of a frown and you're sure it's been your whole life?
As long as I can remember, well, I mentioned I have a different detective role. Um, I, well, ever since I came into existence, I've sort of been fitting that role no matter what I did.
Hmm. And there wasn't uh, anything you remember that started with it?
Um, I'll admit I did turn away from some specific genres when I first came into existence, but outside of that, I can't think of anything that would shoehorn me into a role.
No, no, I don't think that would be enough. That's strange. That's not very common from my understanding of it.
Hmm.
Don't
And
know what that means though. It's hard to say if that's better or worse.
this is where Tome can actually help because Tome is going to be willing, because this is post therapy, is willing to share some information
Oh,
that while Crystal had the very vaguest idea that because Tome doesn't have a set age, um, I'll admit my creation wasn't normal. Would that have a role in it?
potentially. What do you mean by not normal? If
He, you go.
there's just sort of like a, if you want to talk about it.
Well, it's easier talking to you than um, any other doctor, and then this way the professor will not kill me later on. Plus, it's
Yes.
not exactly secret information. There are a handful of people who know about it, um, and it is technically in a police report. Um,
Hmm. Well,
I
I can
you go.
promise you that this information will not leave me, um, unless under the most dire of circumstances. I take my patient confidentiality very seriously. Mm, my friends'
That
confidentiality even more so.
he does genuinely smile at the friend sentence statement.
Oh.
You can tell that meant a lot to him. It's less I don't want people to know about it and more to be honest, I kind of hinted towards it even when talking to Jera. Just more if I don't really talk about it because it's just not something that feels like a normal conversation. Or
All right. Well, then I'll discuss it with discretion then.
yeah, um, you probably are already aware that I came into existence already as a tune with established stat facts. Correct? I
Does
would
she know
assume you
that?
got at least some of that information during everything.
Ah, yep. If you're willing for that to be the case, then yep. She's gonna nod.
It is up to you. Um, he assumes she was told that, but that's just because he doesn't know what's in his case file.
Yeah.
So it's very likely she could have not been told that.
Well, I rolled a history, and I will let you decide if that's high enough. Because it wasn't a very good roll, but her modifier is fairly good.
Yeah. Also, chat mentions Tome wouldn't Prof would have stated that Tome didn't have like a lineage for like health wise. That's a 12. Nope. All you know is doesn't know age, inconsistencies, doesn't have a lineage.
Yeah, yeah. She's guessed that he was uh oh god, I can't remember the term for
Spontaneous.
this. Yeah, the spontaneous, like spontaneously born tune. But no, she did not know that information. And that's fairly clear on her face.
Oh, no. Wow. No. Nah. I guess I have to give Professor more credit for not sharing my entire medical history. I am thankful for that. But yes, I am a example of a spontaneous tune,
Yes, I
which
guessed
is
as much.
not uncommon per se. They're not the most likely to happen, but they're not enough to be considered uncommon. However, I I told Jera this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. You are, of course, a doctor. But how common is it for spontaneously formed tunes to not have a set backstory or design?
Hmm. Um, I'm just sort of like scouring my head. I would actually,
This is like partially out of character because I spec don't know the full lore as much.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not certain on the answer. Um, no, I'm just trying to think of all of the spontaneous tunes that I know. I think that not having a background is probably fairly common, but like having a set design and interests and stuff is probably like more common, if that
Like
makes sense.
if she asks, he can elaborate. Um,
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
to mention, I don't think it's common to not have like a complete like you normally have a backstory or no backstory. It's not common to have one that's kind of like shifting constantly.
No, yeah, it's definitely not like either you come like I think the most common is that you come in without any backstory at all, and then second common is like you come in with a complete backstory, and you just like suddenly exist one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe what she'll ask is, what do you mean?
Hmm. For the first year-ish of my existence, I didn't really have a set age, and according to the police file, I when I was found, I didn't even have a set design or well, even a set medium. As
No,
for the backstory, it's changed a lot as I was throughout the years. Now it's more just so fuzzy, I don't even bother trying to remember it.
that is not common at all. Most uh, spontaneous tunes have a set design and a personality and potentially a backstory. Not it's more common for them not to, but if they do, it's almost certainly set.
Yes, no, I. Hmm. He does frown at that. Well, then I guess that could explain your earlier concern.
Mm. Tome, this
Yes.
may be a completely crazy idea, but are you sure that you were born then?
Yes, I do at least know that much. I, one second, I need a moment.
Look, I don't know enough about his lore, but I'm just like, you know, um, this is at least giving me like, okay, that's so good. Um, yeah, this is basically just me going off of the information that I have, and I'm like by proxy giving it to Crystal because I do not know enough to I do not know enough to say that I would be metagaming with that.
Okay, I'm back. I needed a moment.
I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry, but I'm also sorry.
Um, no, I'm quite certain that would not be possible. I very much don't have anything concrete enough to even establish that, and there was no missing people around the time I was found.
Hmm. Well, yeah. I don't know what she would say to this. Hold on. I'm gonna roll, see if she's gonna push this or if she's just gonna file it away for later. Alright, well, she's gonna file it away for later. She does look uncertain. I think the reasoning is she's skeptical about that. That doesn't line up very well with her knowledge of it, but it's been a while since she's looked into that, so she's sort of not going to press it for now. But yeah, she might be looking into this a little bit more of like, is it possible for tunes to spontaneously come into existence with like the same sort of scenarios that he's talking about? Because yeah, she's a bit sus about that, and the missing person stuff does not really mean much in her opinion.
This was not what I expected, but I'm giggling like a little madman. This works out great for me.
I'm. So there's actually a potential that she might tell some other people about her theory if she's looking into it. There are a couple of people she might trust with this information. In particular, like the first two that come to mind is Professor and Moria.
Yeah, honestly, if you want to in character discussion post this FPS talk about that, um, you put it in like those spoilers, of course, but like
Mm,
I wouldn't be against her.
yeah,
Especially because this is not enough information to actually get into spoilers.
yeah, nice.
It's just enough to go, hey, Tome was formed weird. That's weird, which is kind of common knowledge.
Mm,
But yeah,
yes.
um,
Yeah, I think instead she's gonna. All right, if you say so.
I um, I wish I could give you a concrete answer, but I will be honest, I never even considered that. It just does not seem possible.
There's a bit of a snort, and the don't worry. I have long since stopped expecting that with this particular group of people.
Well, at least there's no disappointment there then. But yeah, no, I truly believe that's not the case. Because I can't think of anything that would even imply that. Everything I have and what little I can remember all remind me more of a concept that was never finished. I
Mm. Yeah, she's tucking away that like piece of information, particularly like concept that was never finished. If she she's going to be polite, but if she had her notebook out, she would be writing that down.
She can make no Tone won't judge her.
She's being polite. She's not here to like treat him. This isn't like a formal
Okay. Yeah, Tone
setting.
like doesn't want this to turn into a thing. He didn't realize that wasn't not normal, and after what happened last time, he's trying to do better about embracing talking about things before they become problem.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Because
fair.
the last not normal thing was a mix of the overblot trauma, and then the not normal thing before that was BCS. So he's a lot more willing to talk.
Yeah, he's learning.
He's learning.
Yeah.
If you have, you go
No, I was just gonna say is that yeah, she's just making note of this, but she doesn't want to make him feel too uncomfortable.
real. Tone will, of course, just follow up with. Sorry, I know I'm rambling a bit. If you want to know many more details about it, I can. I don't want to unnerve you.
Oh, trust me, you're far from close on that front. I've uh seen a lot in my line of work. Um,
I guess that makes sense.
mm. I do think she will ask the. It is a curious case, however. Would you mind terribly if I researched into the idea a little bit?
Oh, no, go ahead. I'd rather this not sneak up on me as some new illness.
Well, illness, no. Plot, potentially.
Plot.
Uh, that's sorry. She's just gonna like wave her hand like speculation. If it mostly just assurance. If you're not a spontaneous tune, then that leaves the door open for unresolved plot.
But, but I. You can see Tome's poor little gears like turning slightly, like. But I am a spontaneous tune.
Yes, then it shouldn't be a problem.
If
It's not very convincing, Crystal. Hold on.
if it's
Yep.
anyone's, I'm. He's like very much biting his cheek because he knows something that could, in his opinion, reassure. Um, yeah, he's definitely had that. Yeah. Um, but he's also like, oh gosh, I don't want to talk about this, but also I really should, but because it will definitely also get this off of me, but also I don't want to talk about this. If if my formation was a plot point, I don't think it would be mine. There's somebody else's it most likely belongs to.
What do you mean by that?
I was found by a specific officer who had a large involvement in my establishment and my eventual stabilization of a design, we'll say. I feel like a strange case like this would be more likely to fall under a plot that he's meant to solve rather than some sort of plot originating with me.
Hmm. Potentially, but sometimes those things are tied together in more ways than you can ever expect.
Well, here's to hoping they're not.
Yeah, she's gonna nod to that. Like, but it is clear that she's sort of like thinking. Um, I'm just trying to think. There was something else I was gonna say, and I'm not sure. I feel like I lost it a little bit. Hmm.
Do you know when you were thinking it? We could try and jog the memory.
Yeah, I think it might have been past. I think there was something that Tome said that might have like hit a little bit close to home with Crystal, and I was gonna ask her to roll an insight, and then I forgot about it.
Things that could possibly things that got brought up about his past. Strange formations. Doesn't want to unnerve her. Um,
Yeah, that might have been it.
and
The
then most recent one about one specific person being a core part of his stabilization.
Yeah, you are. Oatmeal, you are so smart. Yeah,
Oatmeal keeping us on track.
yeah, it was around like the strange formations of tunes, and particularly like tunes like connected. Uh, it was connected to the statement like best to like make sure this isn't connected to like another plot was like sort of speaking from personal experience. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
Tome can roll an insight if he would like on that.
Let's roll an insight. Tome's got the trauma dump. Now it's Crystal's turn. That's a 26.
Oh my god. Yes, well that's certainly enough to catch that there might be a little bit of uh like uh a bit of a grimace. Oh, that's the other part of it that was he was like, I don't want to disturb you, and I'm like, ha, looks at her backstory.
Yeah. I will admit,
Uh,
if he does start talking about it like in detail, I will have to add a new content word.
that's fair. That's fair. Um, No, I think she's gonna like drop it for now, but you definitely catch the that look of the um it's like a bit of a like a bitter humor of ha, yeah, no, don't need to worry on that like front, and also like sympathy for you because she has maybe had some personal experience with things coming up that should really have not had that complicated of an explanation.
Tone voice, I'm not prying, I'm not prying, I'm not prying. I'm being respectful and a good host. It is okay for me to share information, but not to pry for information. It's okay for me to willingly give up information, but not ask for information.
I think you should roll for him.
I won't even roll. You can tell he wants to say something, but is not out of politeness.
Fair enough. I think yeah, in that case, there's a it would make sense because like Crystal is also probably wanting to deflect this conversation a little bit because it seems to be making Tome uncomfortable, and there's just the raised eyebrow and the well, if we're going to be honest here, is there something you wanted to bring up?
Are you so insistent on this due to personal reasons?
She's just gonna like sort of like push her hands through her hair of like that is complicated. I suppose you could say that my entire job is based on personal reasons. Um, it just mm,
He frowns.
don't want you to be blindsided by something that you don't need to be.
I can get that. I don't want the same to happen to you either.
Well, I'd like to
I'm
say a
about to
little
kill.
bit late for that. Hoping there's nothing more.
I hope it doesn't happen anymore.
Thank you.
Of course.
uh I'm just like I'm trying to like that I'm trying to figure out whether she would like elaborate on this or not because I think it would be really funny. But also at the same time it's like I don't know if she would.
Come on, Crystal. He's been so open with you.
All right, let me just figure out how to phrase this. I think there's like a bit of a pause and a reflection and let's just say I found out not that many years ago that I wish that I made as a child accidentally awakened an ancient deity in a long abandoned ruins, and was the result of my sister's powers and my mum's death and everything that happened after that.
I need you to understand the silence is twofold because one, Tome has no way to respond to that. That does not make the situation worse. Two, I Spec did not know that, so I'm sitting here in shocked silence.
Yeah. That's why I said it would be funny.
It is so funny.
uh,
Tome kind of just blinks twice before he just starts laughing a little. Wow. We really have fucked up lives, don't we?
oh yes. It's apparently contagious in this continent.
Guess so.
Well,
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at your situation. It's more.
no, I've had time to process it. It's been a few years now.
Huh. I'm glad you've had time to process it. Um, glad that that's in the past. I would not have guessed any of that. I'll admit.
No, well, I do try to keep my personal life private. And to be honest, it was kind of a shock for me when said deity popped up unexpectedly to, well, tell me it all. And uh, of course, the professor was involved with it.
Oh, oh, okay. That explains why it was so much. He's joking. He's joking.
Yeah, it was just a laugh. And like I said, very good at digging up information and putting his nose into places that shouldn't belong.
Well, and also, like you said, though, it normally ends up benefiting us.
Yes, um, indeed.
What's your sister like?
My sister, she is a little bit thrown off by that question. Oh, well, Cassie's sweet and very positive and has the ability to make anyone smile and is really excited about life and learning about the world and interacting with people. And yeah, she's a good kid. I'm so sorry, Spec.
Well, I'm glad she has you then. And I'm glad you have her. Sounds
I'm
like a good balance.
I hope so. I'm certainly glad to have her. Hope that the reverse is true.
I'm quite certain it likely is.
Hmm. Mm, let's just say I've made my fair share of mistakes in the past with that.
Well, I've made my fair share of mistakes, and here I am with multiple children and two siblings, so perhaps you should give yourself a little more credit.
Thank you. I need to roll. She's gonna. There is like a little
Tom's not done killing her. He has a follow-up line to murder.
All right, all right. Well, did you want to go first? Because I
I
had.
will I will just very gently do the final follow-up line that blinked out of my head. Fuck, 1 second. I got so distracted being like, yes, there's more that I forgot the more. Brain cells are loading.
I I have something that that Crystal can retort if you want. I don't know if it will
You
like
go because
mess
my
up.
brain cell just died.
That's all right. There's like a little bit of a like uh sigh, like she's trying to like push that back and just So tell me, have you adopted anyone else in recent times? Like poking fun at
Which
him.
one? Which ones do you know about? Would probably be the quicker answer.
Let me just roll history. Oh, that's hilarious. She rolled a 2. It's an 11 total. She does not remember. Uh, just like a brief look in the Leo, Camille, Jubilee, and then she sort of trails off like, is there anyone else in that household? I don't know.
Well, out of children, there's also Minami and Yura.
Ah, you adopted
Um,
Yura.
yes, I realized during Yura's overblot some that I could not dare to lose them, and I realized that I cared deeply for them, and well, they deserve to have someone looking out for them here, and I wanted to be that person.
I'm glad. They definitely need more people in their life to look out for them after everything that happened.
I agree. Outside of children, I have the professor and Moria as siblings.
Ah, so you're a veteran at this now.
Somehow, which is crazy to think of considering how I was just a couple of years ago.
Well, you wear it well.
His face kind of flushes a bit red. Compliments killed him. I'm glad if there's any role I'd be willing to put up with, I'm glad it's this one.
Hmm. Just don't sell yourself short. You're capable of more than that.
Well, I'm working on that. I guess in exchange, I will though have to ask, don't sell yourself short. People care about you. You're good company and you're a kind heart. Don't don't expect others to scrutinize you the way you scrutinize yourself.
Consider her a little bit murdered. There is a flush of the.
Me very quietly. 1 second, I need the chip. This is the energy it feels like for me.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. There's a moment and like her face sort of goes red and the like I know people care. You don't have to tell me that. She still looks like half flustered, half grateful at the same time.
I know you may realize that, but sometimes it's hard to realize how much or realize until it's too late. Take it from someone who's already gone through a lot of that.
Hmm.
It's gonna be hard, Crystal, but you're strong. And, well, they're stubborn.
Yes, they certainly are. Hmm. Yeah, there's yeah, I'm gonna roll off of that old insight that yeah, yeah, when you said that you don't want to lose them before it's too late, like there was small flash of haha, yeah, I am aware of that. I may have gotten close on a couple of occasions.
Well, you know, if you aren't ready to ask them directly, if they care, perhaps you can ask someone who knows them. Have you ever considered asking the professor what he thinks Cassie feels about you? You mentioned he was involved in all that. Well, professor's always been known to be honest.
I
He would likely be able to tell you it without the tinted viewpoint you have right now.
I don't actually know how well he knows Cassie. Uh, he actually only met her recently, despite getting caught up in
Huh,
our background stuff, ironically.
I'll be.
Yes, yes. Uh, like I said, it came out of kind of nowhere.
Yeah, well, still, I think you should be willing to try and
Oh,
it's often hard to convince yourself others care when you are quite used to assuming the opposite. However, I have found that while it's not easy, asking really does help quiet those mean thoughts a lot.
it's not that I don't know that they care. I think you were right when you said that I am harder on myself than others are on me. I
Makes sense.
just get frightened to know how much people care about me, how much I care about them, and how much I could potentially lose.
Tom looks at her for a very long moment. He's contemplating sharing more stuff to kind of like help.
Aww, holds
I get you
him.
in that. Um, my own personal case is the reason I was so reluctant in the past because I had those fears. But, well, I guess one of the hardest parts about learning to handle that fear is learning to accept just how capable they are. When we're scared of losing them, we will assume the worst case. But, well, I've seen all of them face the worst case and come out stronger than before. So it's good to worry sometimes, but not when it not when it hurts you.
Hmm. All right, let's see. All right, all right. I know they're capable. They've proven that to me. That's just as they've proven that I can't ignore the fact that I care about them. But just because they've gotten out without any repercussions before doesn't necessitate that it will always be the case. I cannot stop worrying about
I won't
that.
ask that.
I know too much to know that I can, to ever take that for granted.
I trust me, I wouldn't ask you to not worry. It's more he kind of frowns as he thinks over his words. It's less don't worry. Like I said, worrying can be good, and more don't let your view of life with them be tinted by that all the time. If you're constantly worrying about losing them, well, you won't have as much time to think about the good parts that are happening right now. You'll be so focused on the future and losing these things that you won't fully be able to appreciate what's happening. It's not a case of don't worry, it's a case of trust them enough to relax. I don't expect this to be an easy thing or even something that you can do now, but as someone who learned these things the hard way, I would like to save you some of that pain.
That's honestly really good advice. I thank you. I will keep that in mind, and I will do my best to take
If you ever need more, like I said, I'm definitely fitting into the wise old man these days.
it. I don't know if I would call you wise per se. I've been part
Ah,
of the group chat for too long for that.
fair enough. I will admit that. I'm at least wiser than Professor. Not the best bar, but it's a bar.
Well, I would say that that bar is on the ground, but considering who we know, they've somehow managed to get under it in some cases too.
It's incredible, really.
Yes, I swear that the collective brain cell count in that group chat is a grand total of 5, and it gets passed around consistently.
I'm pretty sure most of there's only one being passed around. The rest are quite permanently with us.
uh, don't think I don't remember the time that you and Professor got handcuffed together.
That was not my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I
Sure
cannot
it
help
was.
that my gag nature has spread to him.
Yes, the real kind.
I real kind can be affected. I am quite convinced on that part. I no, I will admit that is definitely more of an extremist view on my end, but I am convinced that the longer real kind stay here, the more likely they are to be affected.
No, I think that you are correct, but they are certainly still more influenced by the people around them than they are themselves.
Yes. But still, I'm innocent of all crimes. And that is all Professor's fault. And anytime anything comes up between the two of us, you should automatically blame him instead.
uh,
Tom smiling.
yeah, I think that does actually pull a genuine laugh out of her. And oh, don't worry, I have already got the assuming the professor is at fault down pat. But I that doesn't mean you get off the hook that easily.
Oh, I'll try.
To be honest, the only one I trust not to make stupid decisions is Moria.
Yeah, no, Moria is definitely the one in charge. This is the look of a person who knows very well he could not win a fight against Moria logic wise.
I love it. I do love. Tome is starting to fall under the category of Crystal is feeling more comfortable bullying him softly.
You should. You should bully him. This man is bullyable. And he's gotten over his trauma.
I don't know whether to leave it there or whether to like bring up the other thing that I thought would be kind of funny with this conversation.
Up to you. I am here for the ride. I'm
Yeah.
having a blast.
I'm just like thinking like I was just thinking of like Tome making stupid decisions and like wondering whether Crystal will ask how he ended up with the thing in his head.
I am so down to bully him as long as you are aware that that does mean the content warning for that could come if he accidentally says something concerning.
Yeah, that's why I was like I'm like I'm happy to go there, but I wanted to check with you first.
I'm good. I'm good.
Uh, I think there's a moment that's just like though I have to ask, how exactly did you end up with that mm, thing in your head? She's gonna sort of like tap at her eye.
He does chuckle. Well, I guess speaking of stupid decisions, are you aware of where Minami's hammer space is?
Does she know where Minami's hammer space is? No, she does not. She just
Okay,
shakes her head.
it is in her mouth. I
Ah,
was on a case, and my hammer space was acting up. It wasn't where it should be normally. I was in a disguise, and I guess that was enough to throw it off. Um, so I tried to use a hammer space that I had seen one of my kids do that was still very consistent in my design, except for I got a little jump scared midway through trying to get that to work.
and
His cheeks are bright red.
it's just like claps her hands together and just the and that was the first one you thought of?
I tried all the others before I got there, at least. Um,
Right. And this disguise didn't have normal pockets?
um, no, I did not have me trying to remember what I had him dressed in. Um, it had some pockets, but okay, it was a dress. Okay, I'm not losing my mind. Um, it was a dress. There was no pockets at all.
Just pinching her nose and just being like, "Ah, I'm surrounded by idiots." Might I suggest, I don't know, a clutch next time you decide to go in a dress somewhere?
Well, I that actually is smart, but the clutch would not have kept it safe. So, albeit it wouldn't consider it exactly safe here, but still.
Yeah, that was a yes, totally safe in your brain there.
He realized after saying it.
Good, because she was definitely like sort of giving him that face.
It, like I said, speaking of stupid ideas,
Yes. Well, hmm. You definitely can't you can't tell me that the professor has done well, no, actually he has definitely done more stupid than that, but still,
absolutely.
it's at least on par.
I'll accept that one.
I do hope you're not planning on putting anything else
I'm not
unidentifiable.
doing that anymore.
Good.
I do not want to risk that happening anymore, especially with valuables. I do not want to get in trouble with the professor or the kids or anybody again. I had such a long talk, and speaking of Leo tears, and it's not worth it.
Well, I'm glad I don't have to reiterate it then.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Trust me, they have. Definitely hammered that into me.
Stars knows your magical and biological properties are already kind of fucked at this point, if I'm going to be honest.
Duh, not that bad.
They're not as bad as they were, but you still somehow manage to have a completely different reaction to overblot than anyone else.
Didn't have anything worth overplotting?
Just looking at him like you can't seriously believe that.
I'm There's no good way to respond to this that does not make me seem like an ass to you.
Good. Glad we're in agreement. I won't press the matter, but just be careful.
I am. I may actually poke you about that at some point, since you are a doctor. I don't know if it's quite in your range, but
Oh,
well, it'd be nice to talk about it with someone who isn't the professor who's constantly getting onto my case.
yes. I don't know if it's quite in my range either, but well, I can certainly do my best. And yes, I can imagine that having mm, someone else involved is a nice thing.
Yeah. Eh, yeah. It's not all bad though. It definitely has its perks. But yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah. Sweat drop.
I'm wondering whether Crystal would ask what possible perks could you get? Yeah, actually, she will. Just the raise eyebrow and, oh, what possible perks could you get from having swallowed something, an unknown artifact that now exists in your brain?
Well, and um I'm kind of glad you brought this up because I've been meaning to tell you. I can read people's thoughts.
Right.
I haven't
Grand.
read yours this conversation. I have not. Um,
Thank you for letting me know that. Yeah,
I
I
meant to tell you beforehand, but I forgot until it got brought up. And we weren't talking when I first realized it, so you didn't get to find out through that. Because I told everyone close to me when I first found out so that they could properly prepare. I've gotten it much more under control now, at least, too.
well, perhaps I should invest in something to keep my thoughts from being read. This is honestly not the first case something like it has come up, and that's a little concerning.
Yeah, definitely then. Uh, yeah, no. He's twiddling his little thumbs.
Well, thank you for telling me. Um, at least in this case, I'm not so upset by you reading my thoughts, potentially. There are a lot worse people out there that could do so.
Yes, I'll admit, the only time it really acts up outside my control is when I'm deeply concerned for someone. And while I'm concerned about you, it has not been to you've been honest enough that I have not tried to read you
Uh,
unconsciously. Read you visually, but then I unconsciously, mentally, I'm not good at explaining this.
there's like two trains of thought that I could go down there. And all right, all right. I will voice it loud. Nah. There's just a small sort of like raised eyebrow, and really, I'm surprised it's not on all the time. If you're if it's triggered by concern for others.
Well, it it used to be, but that's partially what I need your help with because Professor is not too keen on it. I have been attempting to control it. Professor's just not quite happy with that because of the side effects.
Side effects
But
being.
I get a headache and my nose starts bleeding. It's nothing really.
Mm. She's like got her head, like her hands come back up to like pinch the bridge of her nose and like rub at her eyes under her glasses. It's just like, Tome, no, that's. You do understand why that's not a good thing, right?
Nothing ever comes of it, and it doesn't even happen every time.
That's not the point. All right. We'll figure something out, but
Yeah,
yeah, try not to use
don't
it. That's not a good thing.
don't tell Professor by the way that I've been practicing. He will kill me.
He should kill you over that. At the very least, maybe tell him so that then if you need to practice, you have someone there in case something goes wrong. Or have you not
I
thought
can
about that?
I It's not a concern. But I guess if a doctor says, okay, okay, I'll reach out to Professor. Okay, I'll reach out to Professor.
Just
I did not read this one. This one is not an actual like trying to hide it thing. This is genuinely. I did not think it was of any concern.
yeah, yeah, no. The look that she's giving him is just like the, well, it is. So maybe, please.
Okay, fine. I'll reach out to people to ask for help in practicing.
Good. Yes. Please do. Just
It really isn't that bad, though.
um,
Professor makes way too big of a deal about it.
uh
You can tell he's pouting a little.
I'm holding I don't know. I'm holding back what Crystal's response to that would be because I'm not sure if I want. I'm trying to be conscious of the angst rating and the content warnings, but yeah, the yeah, that's not so much as it is like the thing that Crystal was going to bring up was like, brain aneurysms is a thing. And like being very blunt with that. So let me know if that's somewhere you want to go in this or not, and I'll
If she wants to, Tome can put that to rest because I Spec have made that very clear. Um, Tome would have had tests done,
yeah. Yeah.
and there is quite literally no damage. His brain is completely untouched.
All right. All right. In that case, I think she will just like look at him and ever heard of brain aneurysms?
I actually, okay, no, it is not that. After Professor got his own concerns, I actually did, during my more recent hospital visit, get all of this checked out, and my brain's untouched.
Good. That's a relief. I
So no need to no need for concerns there. Genuinely, when I got checked up, I was as healthy as a horse.
Mhm. Yeah. That's honestly not that surprising and also surprising at the same time.
He kind of just shrugs.
And look, it's just like, look, your body is weird.
I'm very good at not getting hurt.
Yeah, well, just don't push your luck.
I won't. Trust me. Uh, now that you've pointed it out, I can't in good conscience practice by myself, so I will reach out. I'm just expecting like a little text to Professor right post FPS. Hey, so I've been informed that practicing using my brain powers by myself is in fact not smart. Would you like to help me? LOL. LMAO.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Ah.
Some voice, if I act lighthearted, he won't kill me. Uh,
Flawless logic. Uh, there is like Crystal gives a nod, and then there is like sort of a little bit of a snort, and the um also it's really funny that you thought I was being honest with you at the time. That's I mean I was sort of and also completely not.
well, less being honest and more of you weren't hiding things that you didn't have a reason to keep hidden.
Mm, reasons, sure. Not necessarily good ones.
Yeah, all that is true, but I'll admit I'm not always the best at spotting a good or bad reason, if you have not been able to tell yet.
Yes, yes, it's uh, feels like we're all a little messed up, isn't
But just works out in our little family, doesn't it?
it? I'm sorry, I need to roll. Okay, cool. Her brain has stopped
Die.
working. Used our family, and she's like, I think she's sort of like started with the yes, and then wait, what? Like, just like kind of like blue screened again. Like, what do you mean
Oh gods, did you oh, did I do it again?
to do what?
I I do not know of any official labels, but I am quite certain you fall into our family somewhere. I assumed you had been adopted on some level by someone already. I knew you joked about Leo earlier, but I figured someone already, considering how interconnected you are and how much we care.
No, there's like this look on her face that is just like, no. There is also a little bit of the, I mean, did get adopted by a chicken. Does that count?
Yeah, no, Tome, Tome, fun fact chat, Tome actually almost said professor directly, but didn't
Oh,
because he didn't want to, because he knows professor has trauma.
oh,
But he was directly thinking of the professor when he said, I thought somebody did.
oh. Yeah, no, no, you're sort of getting this like very bewildered look from Crystal of the no. Hold on, wait, wait,
uh,
wait. Is that a thing?
huh. I will have to look into this. I swear someone had done it. Oh gods. If they have, that means they haven't told you. Oh gods. Oh gods.
Congratulations, you've made it worse. And Crystal's like, wait. Someone might have adopted me and I don't know.
Did you not know that could happen? I thought you told Jera and Terry about the adoption things.
I mean, yes, I did, but like, usually people is- tell people when they do so, and I mean,
No, they don't.
mm,
If they're traumatized enough, no, they won't. They think they'll react badly, they won't. I considered Professor my brother long before I told him.
Crystal is like, look, I I'm aware of the
Sorry.
tropes theoretically. Until recent years, I was a chronic shut-in.
Well, I hate to break it to you, I was a chronic shut-in, and now I have how many children and siblings? If anything, I fear your case may be more doomed than you realize.
Oh god, her expression right now. I want to see if I can find like a reaction gif for it.
Tone voice, I have horrible news for you, but the shut-in excuse doesn't work. I have to figure out who would it. Hmm.
This one might might be.
I would spoil for Scopo.
Yeah, alright, I'll spoil it.
Holy shit. Oh yeah, no, Tome is just kind of running a hand down his face. Gods, I thought you realized. Okay. Um, like I said, I didn't know the particular title. I always figured you thought it somewhere around cousin or niece area. Gods, that means I have to. Okay. I have some questions to ask later to people.
Yeah, I think I have some thinking to do. Like, I mean, I suppose to be fair, it took me a very long time to accept any of you as friends and not work colleagues. So she just sort of puts her head in her hands, like, "Ugh."
No, take your time. Take your time. Take your time. I maybe I'm wrong. I could always be wrong, you know. Really, there's no need to worry.
Yeah, sure, that's always a possibility. But
He is sweating so much right now.
oh, it's just handing me disappointment and worry. Like, wait, but what if they don't? What if I make a mistake and they don't feel the same way back? And she's like, oh, now you've made this worse.
I
Uh,
mean, if you want that, of course, you can always adopt them.
I,
I mean, my a large amount of my adoptions weren't done by me.
I'll consider it, but um.
We're both looking at the gallery right now, losing it.
God, okay. This is a. I I'll consider it. I've not really thought about it, and quite honestly, I think I need time to process this.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. I take your time. Just forget I ever said anything. Actually,
It's just like sort of like a shaky nod, and her face is so red as she sort of like sips at her tea.
I'm glad I got to kill her again.
She was gonna have to be woken up to this at some point or another. Uh,
Tome's literally gonna be slamming the. It's gonna be like mass DMing people. Hey, did you adopt Crystal?
Just raise your hand if you've adopted Crystal, because I think I might have done something I didn't mean to.
I either outed one of you adopting Crystal, or I may have just adopted Crystal, and I don't know which one it is yet.
Oh god, that's so funny.
Don't waste. I may have done it again, guys. I'm not a. This one isn't even as like a kid or a sibling. This guys, I think Crystal is in our family, and I may have adopted Crystal into our family, but I didn't adopt Crystal, and it's very confusing. Please tell me one of you have adopted Crystal.
I've adopted Crystal on behalf of other people.
I've done the group a favor, and I've brought Crystal into our family. Crystal is not related to me anyway. Crystal is my in-law through one of you. Which one of you? I don't know.
Oh god, I love it so much.
He's so silly. I am glad that I could still keep him to be such a silly.
Yes, he's good. Yes, some oatmeal in the chat on behalf of you cowards.
Cowards, yeah! On behalf of your cowards, I have done a step and brought Crystal into the family.
Oh
Crystal
god.
has not been adopted by me, but Crystal has been adopted by one of you. You may now talk amongst yourself about who has done it.
Yeah, yeah. They do sort of give like the like adopted adjacent
Yeah.
vibes.
QY Tone was like, I thought you were like a niece or cousin.
Yeah.
Because he genuinely thought like that Crystal had been adopted by one of the others. This is not even like an out of character mistake. Out of character, I knew. In character, he genuinely thought.
Yeah, yeah. Though to be honest, I as far as I'm aware, I'm not aware of all of them. But I know that the closest is probably Leo. Leo hasn't officially adopted her as a sister, but the feelings are definitely there. And uh yeah, Aurelia also sort of like said that she sees her as family, but they didn't really go into detail about that. And I have said to Oatmeal before that I think that Crystal is sort of getting like I see Professor as like a parental figure vibes, but she's in denial at the moment.
Yeah, no, like I said, Professor is very much the reason, but he doesn't want to blatantly out Professor like that, which is why he's throwing so many other adjectives out there. But like, there's a reason he led with niece.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. Hey, did he actually say niece to her? Because that would be
Yeah,
really
he said
funny.
niece or like a cousin.
Yeah, yeah, leave her to think.
He doesn't want to out Professor.
Oh, I'm almost tempted to roll something to see if she puts pieces together, and I'm almost tempted not to because I think both options would be funny.
I think not would be not only funnier, but also I think it's up to Oatmeal partially.
Mm. Yeah, I'll leave it for not for now, and then it can be a fun little thing that she can maybe put together in the future.
Mini fic, but it's just Crystal sitting up in the middle of bed. Wait.
God, that's so funny.
Tome's gonna run back to Professor now. Tome's not gonna even go back to his groceries. He's gonna scene shift right behind Professor. Professor, I fucked up!
Oh, this is also like right after he'd sent the like, hey, so I shouldn't be practicing with my headache magic thing, and
See,
this.
he hasn't even texted that yet. So this is very likely gonna be he's seen shifts behind Professor wherever Professor is. jump scares the poor old man, goes, "Hey, couple of things. One, I may have accidentally hinted towards Crystal that you care for her enough to adopt her. And also, I have found out that I'm not allowed to test my brain thing by myself. Please do not be mad at me." And just then step a good number of feet away. Out of swinging distance.
Oh god. Oh god, Professor Shurian for one afternoon. Oh god, that's hilarious. Oh,
I will definitely be bothering Oatmeal afterwards.
oh god. I'm dying here right now.
I don't want to break any characters. I want this to just lead to funnies.
Yeah, it is funny. Um Okay, okay. I think that might be a good place to leave it. What do
I
you
think
think?
that's a gr I think these 2 shouldn't talk anymore. I think when they are allowed to talk and they no longer have fear of it, it brings out a dangerous amount of secrets.
Yeah.
I think they should not allow be the real reason they can't talk, they're too powerful when they put their brain cells together.
Yeah, yeah. These two apparently they make an incredibly competent single person when they're together.
Yes, which is quite terrifying.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
but yes. Thank you for doing this FPS with me.
this was fun. This was great fun. I'm glad they finally talked to each other properly. It
It
only took
it
a
it took
while.
over a year at this point,
Yeah.
but we've done it.
We've done it. They are friends officially.
They are friends. I'm gonna have to put a summary in the character talk post this, because I've been trying to do those. Um, Thank you to all our current listeners and future listeners. I hope you all have a wonderful time zone.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.